Yo, it is impossible for me to have a conversation with one of these people because I know for a fact that half the things you are telling me are not grounded in the reality of a left right debate. They're grounded in what that guy says and what you choose to believe. It's a nice cohesive network of feelings, ideas, emotions, things that make you feel like you're really part of a purpose. So half the time when I'm talking to you, I'm not debating you on the morality of the issues. I'm not debating you on wedge issues, how we could solve this, how we could solve that. Half the time I'm debating you, it's like forcing myself to say that's not true. That's not true. I don't have anything else to say, but that's not true. Here's the real thing. Then we end up with two sides of the conversation. Which one is real? Which one is right? I'm not debating you on issues that exist in our time, in our place, in our country. I'm debating you on what reality we're in. Which
What's in the
side of
bag?
the
A
thank
shark or
you,
something?
appreciate it. Oh, these VODs are gonna be nuts. These segments are gonna be nuts. So that's our that's our issue. That's our that's our divide. I'm sitting here frustrated because I'm not even able to express a possible issue that both of us could come up with that we could fix. No, I'm stuck talking to you about this, that, and the other and wondering how you got there. I'm stuck on how do I communicate to you that you're not saying anything worth replying to. So then I start to mock you. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about and how this plays into Tucker Carlson. Yeah. Okay, no, we could keep talking about it for a second. Yeah, they sound so incredibly dumb to us that we end up having to go down to their level. Well, if you don't want to talk about things that are real, then what do you want from me? Then what do you want from me? And I've said this in a very poisonous way, and I've said it in a very long-winded way. I can't I can't understand it on I can't understand it on a level where you don't see how we got here. You don't see how we got here. You don't have the conceptualism to use your intelligence to come up with a conclusion that could make a difference. You want to live within the ignorance of I'm telling you there's so many holes in your story, but since you wrap yourself in that story, there's no way. No way. There's no way that you could be right about all of this because that would mean that they're lying to me completely. Like there's no way. There's no way. It's impossible. And I'm sitting there like, no, it's absolutely possible because you went through mostly the same history class I went through. You know how dudes like this got into power. You know how they use their wording to trick you into things. Like you didn't trust Obama. Like how do you think president if you think everybody in the government's corrupt, why does that guy and that's where the divide comes. Because I'm talking about why he's a horrible president. You're telling me why he's such a great person. We're not even talking about the same thing. You can it overlaps any issue into both. But once you're in that camp of misinformation, once you don't have the nuance to escape those thoughts, it becomes a wall that sits on you. And it's very hard for people to get from underneath that rock, that wall, because they've had to accept so many things as being a part of a bolder, larger strategy that they were unaware of at first. And underlying underlying problem is why you'll see the left consistently make jokes. Like I'm not sitting here gonna humor you about your thought process because you don't have the nuance to step away from the clear and obvious misinformation and walk yourself into, all right, well, if I don't trust anybody, what's the real problem? Let me objectively, like, the Senate stuff is boring. I'm not gonna sit there and watch that. Yeah. And that's how you miss bills go right past your head and you're like, you're not I said that earlier. Yeah. They like him, not the, I scream that. I scream that all the time. He's a symptom. The problem is the party, like, using him as the gate. You say the stuff, we'll do the things. And when I'm telling you that guy represents this, that, and the other, all this hateful rhetoric, all this stuff, you don't see him doing it. So it stops you from thinking that you are a part with him on that issue. I'll say the N word if I want to. Like, because you know he wouldn't do it, but he would support you if you did. That is enabling from a large distance. He enables the worst out of you. The party attached to that and said, well, we're going to ride this horse all the way down. We're going to ride it all the way to sunset. And wherever it stops, it stops. And I'm like, sure, okay, that's fine. But there's only so much I could take of you speaking about this, that, and the other before I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, put that on a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt. You say the stuff, we do the things. And it's not hard. It's not once you realize that there are more dots connected to a conspiracy theory than QAnon can ever have. Like, once you say that out loud, wow, I like him, not the party. All of a sudden, you start realizing, huh? It's funny how they let that, and that happen, even though they told us that this, that, and that was bad. And it's funny how they're spinning a literal insurrection act into, like, pointing the finger everywhere. Why do they keep pointing the fingers at everyone else? They're never at fault. But that's not possible because I like him, not the party. He can't, like, possibly be in control of all of that. I've seen him live not doing anything while decisions were being made. Wait. And it starts, that's when, and it's so crazy that the left will not do that. If they want to be as visceral because they understand they're like little cats, packed away from dogs. Like, I get that. But there's no way that you can't say, all right, here, we're going to have a conversation. Instead of it being about issues and why Trump is so great at them or why the Democrats are so bad at him, let me ask you this. How much do you know about the entire party, not just the president? Boom. What are we talking about? Are we talking about him as the person or him as the president? Because if you keep saying he's so great because he did these things, ask yourself, he had to do things, but you can't name qualities. He's what, charming? Like, you've seen him literally not be. Do you not, like, separate the party from the guy? Instant deletion. So to have some fun here, I did that. I did that.